Women's fashion has a quality problem. The industry that once promised craftsmanship and longevity now survives on fast fashion churn, outsourced production, and pricing that often has no correlation to construction. J.Crew abandoned its lifetime guarantee on bags years ago. Patagonia quietly restricted its worn-wear coverage to reduce volume. Even long-standing luxury houses now rely on offshore subcontractors while raising prices annually. To cut through the noise, we applied 3 tests. 1. Documented construction, proof of how the garment or accessory is built. 2. Stable manufacturing, consistent factories, mills, and methods. 3. A warranty or service infrastructure, something that shows long-term confidence. Only 8 women's fashion brands passed, and today, we count them down. 8. Nili Lotan. Transparent fabrics, real tailoring, no trend chasing. Nili Lotan earns the 8th spot for one simple reason: actual documented construction in a market dominated by mystery blends and private label factories. Every product page lists not just the fiber composition, but where the fabric comes from: Italian cotton twill, Japanese denim, or Portuguese suiting wool. The brand's tailoring is cut and sewn in the same small-run factories in the US and Europe it has used for years, and construction details like fused and half canvas aren't hidden behind vague language. What sets Nili Lotan apart is its refusal to degrade materials. The brand still uses real Japanese denim, not the stretch-heavy, low yarn count imitation denim that dominates women's jeans today. Their suiting relies on high-twist virgin wool with documented micron counts, giving the jackets shape that lasts multiple seasons instead of collapsing after dry cleaning. At typical prices between $350 and $1,000, the brand isn't cheap, and it doesn't offer a lifetime guarantee. But its transparency, stable manufacturing, and predictable materials land it on this list. In a sector where many $800 jackets use the same factories as Zara, Nili Lotan stands out for building clothes like it intends them to survive more than one trend cycle. 7. Eileen Fisher. Regenerative fibers and an industry-leading take-back program. Eileen Fisher might surprise you on a durability list, but it shouldn't. While the aesthetic skews minimalist, the construction is serious. Italian spun merino, organic linen with traceable farms, regenerative cotton partnerships. This is one of the few women's brands that can tell you not just the country, but the specific mill behind the core fabrics. But the real reason Eileen Fisher makes this list is the Renew program, a take-back and repair system that has operated since 2009. Garments are cleaned, mended, and resold, or broken down into raw materials for new pieces. This is not greenwashing. Renew processes tens of thousands of garments annually, with a permanent infrastructure dedicated to keeping items in circulation. The brand's price point is high, but the design philosophy is intentionally seasonless. Combined with durable natural fibers and a repair ecosystem, Eileen Fisher is one of the rare labels whose clothes actually survive 5, 10, or 15 years of regular wear. The weakness? Some knit constructions stretch over time, especially in lighter gauges. But the commitment to repairability and fabric integrity gives Eileen Fisher a legitimate claim to long-term value. 6. Frye, the last historically significant women's boot brand standing. Women's footwear has suffered massive quality erosion in the past decade. Most luxury boots are now cemented construction with synthetic lining. Frye remains the outlier. Founded in 1863, Frye still relies on full-grain leather from long-term partner tanneries, and its signature engineer and harness boots are made with Goodyear welt construction, the same resolable method used in heritage men's footwear. This alone makes Frye unusual. Nearly every competitor in women's fashion has abandoned resoling as a design priority. A properly welted Frye boot can have the outsole replaced multiple times for roughly $80 to $120, extending lifespan far beyond the typical 18 to 36 months of glued fashion boots. Frye's factory locations have shifted over the years, but its materials and methods remain consistent, and thousands of owners report decade-long lifespans with resoling and conditioning. Frye does not offer a lifetime guarantee, but its construction is one of the strongest remaining in the women's boot category, earning it the 6th spot. 5. Rag & Bone. Denim and outerwear built with real mills and real hardware. Rag & Bone makes this list because it hasn't abandoned the fundamentals. Real Japanese denim, real hardware, real tailoring. Before the brand expanded its line, it built its reputation on Cone Mill's white oak and Japanese selvage denim, and even today, its premium denim lines still use documented mills like Kuroki, a rarity in women's jeans. The jackets are similarly transparent. Italian virgin wool from Manteco. Italian leather from Gruppo Mastrotto. Down jackets filled with traceable 700-plus fill power down. These are not marketing claims. They're listed in product specs. In a world where most $400 women's coats use 100% polyester shell fabric with mystery insulation, Rag & Bone's commitment to traceable materials and documented construction keeps it on the buy-it-for-life spectrum. The brand's weakness is in the lack of formal repair services, but many of its garments are built to survive long enough that third-party repairs are possible, a key distinction from fast fashion construction that can't withstand tailoring or mending. 4. Sézane. French transparency and repairability in a market of hidden manufacturing. Sézane earns its ranking not through a lifetime warranty, but through supply chain disclosure, a rarity in affordable luxury. Every product page lists fiber origin, mill or tannery location, factory country, and certification. The exact composition down to metal hardware compliance. This is unheard of in its price tier. Most Sézane shoes use full-grain leather with Blake or Blake Rapid stitching, both resolable methods. Most knits use Italian merino and baby alpaca from long-term suppliers, and outerwear is predominantly recycled wool from established mills in Italy or France. But the sleeper advantage? The clothes are actually repairable. Buttons are reinforced, seams are lock-stitched, linings are finished with time-consuming binding rather than overlocking. The brand offers a modest repairs program in France and partners with third-party tailors elsewhere. Sézane's consistency and construction quality make it one of the few modern women's brands with long-term integrity, despite a relatively accessible price point. Its weakness is sizing inconsistency, but in terms of traceable materials and stable fabrics, few brands do better. 3. Filson. Women's outerwear with century-proven materials. Yes, Filson appears on the men's list, but it is equally relevant for women's fashion, because its women's outerwear is identical in construction to the men's and built in the same facility. Filson's signature tin cloth, a wax-saturated cotton canvas, can be rewaxed indefinitely. The company has supported factory rewaxing, repairs, and panel replacements for over a century. Where women's outerwear often prioritizes silhouette over durability, using thin poly shells, synthetic coatings, glued seams, Filson still uses 14 to 15 ounce waxed canvas, heavy wool woven at Pendleton and other U.S. mills, full-grain bridal leather for straps and reinforcements. The majority of Filson's heritage outerwear is still cut and sewn in Seattle. With documented continuity of manufacturing, customers routinely send in coats that are 10, 20, even 30 years old, and receive them back restored, rewaxed, and ready for another decade. Filson's designs are not fashion-forward, but they are the most durable women's jackets and bags still made in America, with aftercare systems to match. 2. Red Wing Heritage. Women's boots with full tannery to factory traceability. Red Wing Heritage earns second place because it controls every major step from cowhide to finished boot. The leather is tanned at SB Foot Tannery, a Red Wing-owned facility that has operated for over 100 years. This eliminates the variability that plagues other brands that outsource tannage to commodity tanneries. The boots are assembled in Red Wing, Minnesota, using Goodyear welt construction. This means resoling is easy and affordable. The upper remains intact across multiple rebuilds. The lifespan extends to decades with care. Women's heritage styles like the Iron Ranger, Clara, and Harriet use the same lasts, welting methods, and in many cases the same leathers as the men's line. Red Wing maintains a formal resoling and structural repair program. Over a 15 to 20-year ownership span, annual cost per wear often drops to $20 to $40, outperforming nearly all designer boots, which typically delaminate or crack within 3 years when built on cemented soles. The only reason Red Wing is not number one is that its warranty is limited, but in terms of documented construction, vertical integration, and rebuildability, nothing else in women's footwear comes close. 1. Darn Tough Vermont, the only unconditional lifetime guarantee in women's apparel. In first place is the single women's fashion brand that still offers a true, unconditional lifetime guarantee. Darn Tough Vermont knits every pair of women's socks in Northfield, Vermont, at the Cabot Hosiery Mill. No outsourcing, no offshoring. This gives the company complete control over yarn selection, needle count, density, construction pattern, quality testing. Its signature feature is the warranty. The official language is clear. If the socks wear out, Darn Tough replaces them. No receipt, no time limit, no conditions. The only requirement is that the socks are still recognizable as Darn Tough, even if they're threadbare. Prices range from $20 to $30, several times the cost of department store socks. But the math is simple. If they ever fail, Darn Tough pays. And most pairs last for years because they are built with high-density merino blend, ring-stitched seamless toes, needle counts far higher than fashion competitors. Thousands of consumers have confirmed fast, hassle-free replacements. The financial risk is on the company, not the customer. In a women's fashion industry where lifetime guarantees have disappeared or been dramatically weakened, Darn Tough stands completely alone. It is the clearest buy-it-for-life brand on the market. Conclusion. Across all 8 brands, one pattern emerges. In women's fashion, quality is no longer the norm. It is the exception. Only the brands that can prove their construction, document their manufacturing, and back their products with real service make the cut. Trust today has to be earned, not assumed. Because in women's fashion, as in every part of modern retail, belief is built, not inherited.